So, Beneath Planet of the Apes, which is a sequel to Planet of the Apes. This one deals with pretty much a guy, pretty much the same as the first, except, you have an astronaut. Granted, you had two of them, but then the one dies, he buries them, so then it's just this one guy. And he's looking for um, Taylor from the first film. I did like how they at least connected, like they do a recap at the beginning of the first film, and it takes place seconds or minutes later after the first film, where we do have Nova and Taylor. I understand they do explain like the whole what happened to him at the beginning of his disappearance and that, and the way he vanishes. But then I'm like, it's supposed to be an illusion, but then he's able to vanish into thin air, so I didn't understand that. And then this guy, this new character, um, he runs into Nova. They go to the ape, city. They meet up with the two good apes, good characters from the first film who tried to help Taylor. The two ex uh, animal people. Um, this one, although you sort of have a dictatorship in this one where the military tries to step in with, like, the gorillas. You have where the first film you didn't really have gorillas. You didn't really have like a chief or anything like that, but in this one you kind of do. You have like a main captain, general type guy who wants to take charge of everything. Um, and pretty much it's this lone guy with Nova trying to find Taylor, and he ends up finding another colony of human people, except they're not fully human. And he does find Taylor, of course, but and the way it ends, I thought was kind of almost really downbeat if you think about it, because like if you just like watched the first one and then this one, and don't watch the third one and the rest of them, it's kind of downbeat at the end of the day. So the acting in this is fine. The effects are pretty good as was the first film. I wouldn't say they're like a downgrade or anything like that. Like, look at the makeup on the people are good. Um, Even the look of the human people, where they take off their human faces and then you see like their messed up, scarred, you know, weird looking Martian type skin, almost like scaly, burnt flesh, which I thought was kind of creepy. But yeah, they didn't give Linda Harrison any leeway this time around. Like, I would have thought, like, I would have liked it if they gave her character like an arc or something, or made her like a Ripley or something. Nope, she's like the same as the first film, where she's silent and kind of not really doing much except following this guy around, and then gets captured, and then But it was funny how Cornelius and the other his wife in this, they're not really much in the movie. Like, they're at the beginning, and then they're at the mid point where they meet this new astronaut guy who's looking for Taylor, and then like they kind of just fall out of the movie. Like, it's mainly him and Nova, uh, you know, finding this colony of somewhat human people. And that part where they're exploring like underneath, the planet was kind of, for me, it was kind of boring. It kind of slowed the movie down for me. But then like there's a scene where these people, these colony of people, like they're almost like Professor X, where they get in your mind or create illusions. So they're sort of like Mysterio as well, or Jedi. Um, although they worship an atomic bomb, and at one point they uh, choose to, or they plan to use it at one point towards the finale, because they don't like, because the apes are trying to get into their zone, their forbidden zone, or whatever it's called. Um, so that whole spiel where they try to, and then there's a scene where Taylor and this astronaut guy gotta fight each other because they're both being controlled by the one of these people, and that scene went on a bit too long for me. Of course, that's the scene right after when, or before, but soon after that scene, then the apes invade, and then Nova gets shot and killed, and then Taylor's kind of mad. He's mad about it, and he's like he wants revenge, pretty much. At least that's what I got out of it. But it does bring back like the original actors, well, most of them except I believe Roddy McDowell. Pretty much Peter Venkman. I believe he passed on this second movie, but I believe he plays in the rest of them. Um, so that's sort of interesting. Why he didn't do his first sequel, but then he decided to do the rest of. I guess because of the makeup process and all that, but you know. But yeah, overall, like my my positives, I can say the storyline was pretty interesting. Well, while it was somewhat different towards the third act, um, the, the makeup effects were good, or effects. The prosthetic makeup was good. Um, the acting was fine. Yeah, pretty much like that's it. Like my negatives, I gotta give it, or would be the character of Nova. I think they should, you know, had her be more, um, I don't know, like more, I guess, more of a character besides like silent and scared all the time, or following somebody around all the time. Because like that's all she does. Like she never speaks except once, and that's only to say Taylor, and then she dies. And then, so yeah, that I would have liked if they bettered her character. And in the ending where everybody dies pretty much because Taylor sets off that uh, nuclear bomb weapon, and the astronaut guy gets shot up like he's Scarface, like he's Tony Montana. They literally emptied them bullets into him. But yeah, I would say it's a good sequel.